Let's go to a little "you voted for this" section. I saw this little video of black New Yorkers upset about the illegals getting all the handouts.
Why do we have to take the butt of everything? Okay, this community here is already suffering. They was first online for the turkeys this morning. If they tell you to be there at 11 o'clock, you get there like 10:30, 10:45, but they already out there. The line is from over there to over here.
We would never turn anyone away for a meal, but there simply just is not enough for both NYCHA residents and the migrant shelter residents. People are going hungry right now. People are frustrated with not having enough to eat, not having heat and hot water in their shelters or in their houses in NYCHA, and people want to make sure that they just have their basic needs met, like any human would anywhere. And that's what's causing the tension.
Yeah. Libby, maybe I'm just a cold-hearted old soul, and I probably am, but I really have such a hard time caring about the people who vote Democrat every time, suffering under Democrat rule. Time and time again, these people go vote Democrat like brain-dead drones, and time again, they continue to get screwed. Why am I supposed to give a crap?
Yeah, it's pretty tough, although I will say that I love seeing Black New Yorkers speak up for themselves and speak up for the city. We see the same thing in Chicago with Black residents of the city being like, hey, we don't need all these illegal immigrants swarming into the city and taking all of our resources and messing everything up, flooding the schools with kids who are not up to speed. It's really a shame, and we see that. And I do think that perhaps this is a moment where Americans can get together and realize that despite our various differences, we can at least all agree that the borders should be secure, that the nation should be sovereign. Perhaps that's too much to hope. But one thing I will say is we see in New York, we saw with the election of Eric Adams, who was the most conservative Democrat, if that's even a thing, that he won pretty handily. And I know because I was in New York at the time, there was pretty much no help for the Republican candidate for mayor. It was Curtis Lewa. And also, he's a pretty interesting guy, but I think a lot of people were not on board with him, but he wasn't even getting support. In New York City, conservatives don't get a lot of support when they try to run. So what is up with the, GOP, the whole thing, the RNC, whoever decides that they don't actually back candidates who could win in places where the populace is yearning for a better option. New Yorkers aren't really given better options. We don't see a lot of candidates who come up who are not part of the Democratic Party machine. And I think that that's a failure, too, of conservative leadership. Let's get these people some people they can vote for, some leaders who will actually make something better happen in their neighborhood so that they're not stuck with this same old garbage, like the woman talking about how New York can't provide for migrants and people in need in New York at the same time, and somehow the migrants get prioritized.
Do you think the pain has gotten bad enough in these kind of places, Libby, like New York, Chicago, and others, that you're going to start seeing people vote a different way? Has it gotten bad enough? I say it hasn't, but I'm happy if I'm wrong.
I don't think it has exactly. I think that you're right about that, Jesse. We haven't seen a lot of polling from inside New York City that says people are willing to make changes at the local levels or at the federal level. I hope that they do come around and see that, but the indoctrination has been so thorough that people actually think Republicans are going to come force people to have babies and do all of, whatever else they think that's been fed to them by MSNBC. The messaging has been really bad. I think conservatives should get out there and get some better messaging and really explain their values and their views so that people know what they are. Instead, you have people who have been voting Democrat in Democratic cities, seeing GOP and just thinking, oh, that's fascist, they hate women and they're racist. And none of that is actually true. Why haven't conservatives had better messaging in these cities to make sure that people and constituents know what the values are, know what the priorities are, know what the policies would be, instead of just letting the mainstream media make all of these assumptions?
Let's hope we can get some changes. Libby, you are the best. Thank you.